I got the idea to do a romance cover speed paint of Echo and Barnabas. Echo's the goblin. Here I am redlining the pose off of the cover, and I'm trying to figure out like what's going on with the legs because the skirt hides a decent amount of that in the original artwork. But I figure it out. I go in and I'm depicting Barnabas is the dwarf. He's a dwarven king holding up Echo the goblin. And I do go in and I resize a lot of proportions after I've like sort of drawn it over the loose pose of the red line, because Barnabas is a dwarf and he's like 4 feet tall. Echo is a goblin, he's 3'3", and so their proportions are a lot more shorter, squatter, shorter limbs than what was on the original cover, and so I definitely have to account for that in my sketch. Like, I resized Barnabas's legs and Echo's legs a few times here, trying to fit it all in. Yeah, and then I wanted to make sure the composition looked alright as I started like kind of blocking in like what's Echo, what's Barnabas, and what is still negative space in the background. I have fun with the line art here. I'm using the very basic Clip Studio Paint wash brush. I feel like it captures a lot of that like energy to a sketch. I like using it for line art. So yeah, I'm just filling in like clothing details, like where Barnabas's boots are, and getting those expressions right. Like it's on a romance cover; they have to be looking longingly into each other's eyes. Otherwise, what's the point, you know? Echo's hair is kind of a mass of braids and not braids. I haven't ever said canonically how long his hair is, and it's just as long as I need it to be for whatever art piece I'm doing at the moment. So when I'm filling in the flats here, and it is a little harder to do with that loose line art because it's very loose, and so the fill tool doesn't always get all of the space underneath the lines, and I go back over it a lot. I do still like the effect of it though, so I think it's worth the bit of extra work that it takes to get the flats flatted in. Yeah, I add his greaves there because I feel like it adds to the motion of what his legs are doing. I basically ended up giving Barnabas the outfit of the man on the original cover. He's a shield dwarf in the game, the campaign, and he's a fighter, so he usually wears a whole lot of armor. Echo is a monk, so he doesn't wear any. But in this piece, I wanted it to be a bit, gotta keep it to that bodice ripper kind of flowy outfit that shows off all of the physique. Gotta get that gradient in the background. And yeah, now I'm double checking the light source and going in on a multiply layer and erasing out basically just the highlights. I like being able to use the highlights and the shadow to really emphasize the volume of the figures. And then I do go back in with an additional multiply layer that was blank, and then I fill it in with a dark red shadow. And I feel like that adds, kind of adds to the mood of the piece, and it looks good against the mostly greens and blues of Echo's color palette. And here we get to the lettering. The original cover is Love Not a Rebel, and I needed to change that to Love Not a Goblin. And I had a lot of fun with this. I like tracing things, I like doing lettering, and especially with this one where I have to invent a few letters and try to match it to the font of what was there. I have fun with this, and especially like because it's the white underneath like a red color blocking. It was just a lot of fun to figure out, and I think it came out really well. So also on the cover are these little blurbs, and I had to change them to fit more of Echo and Barnabas' vibes. BDC being the Bad Decisions Club, which is my D&D group, and then Krivina is kind of the ship name for two other characters, Kripa and Kevin. They're not actually together, it's just a fun kind of ship. Yeah, I have to go in and I tighten up a few things, but more or less, this is the cover, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Thank you so much for watching.